We still got an entire segment to go.
I know, holy crap.
I'm actually really looking forward to this because when I was doing this at like 4 a.m, I just got so slap happy. And some of the things that I wrote down, I probably forgot that I even wrote them, and they were just so funny to me. So
all right.
I'm going to have a good time with this list.
Well, I am not because
Oh, no, you'll have a good time. I'm going to make you have a good time.
Okay, well, I have no honorable mentions.
Okay.
Actually,
well,
I do. Roma for Best Picture. There you go.
Actually, that's on my honorable mention as well. So let's get that out of the way.
Yeah, that's my only honorable mention.
I also named what Academy Award it was, and I named the category and all that stuff. So I have a ton of honorable mentions. I'm just going to start listing them off. You ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
83rd Best Picture, The King's Speech over Social Network.
Yep.
As much as I enjoyed the performances from A King's Speech, it never had the impact or longevity that Social Network had, being hailed as one of the best of the 21st century from its performances to its storytelling to making a new revelation such as Facebook be viewed as history. And while we're at it, Best Director should have went to Fincher because the direction in King's Speech was forgettable. 81st Best Cinematography. I'm sorry to do this to you, dude. Slumdog Millionaire over The Dark Knight. The most important component to making Batman feel larger than life. Time and time again in this film, he feels restricted by his ties to people, his truest weakness. Being the strongest entity in Gotham and still falling short to a mortal man, we should see how puny he is, but the cinematography won't let us. In fact, it shows that his first world problems are a threat to the public. Mm-hmm. The cinematography is great.
Well, real quick to that, I think I kind of see where you're coming from, but I think Wally Pfister's cinematography, although he's a great cinematographer, I kind of view it kind of standard. Whereas like Anthony Dodd Mantle, who did Slumdog Millionaire, he's very stylized. You know, it's kind of a different.
So you disagree with me?
I do, but I don't because it just depends what you want.
I suppose.
You know, it's like it depends what you like. You know, I really love the cinematography of Slumdog Millionaire.
I mean, you're okay.
I think it fit that story really well.
That's probably fair.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably fair. 74th Best Picture, Beautiful Mind over Fellowship of the Ring. Beautiful Mind never survived discussion after the first decade, but Lord of the Rings is one of the only prominent fantasy franchises and has a massive fan base.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now this one, I think you're going to disagree with me, but you know what? I don't care.
Okay, go ahead.
67th Best Director, Forrest Gump over Pulp Fiction. Forrest Gump, in my opinion, is one of the top 10 weakest films to win Best Picture.
Really?
The direction is solid, but doesn't always match with the sporadic screenplay. Tarantino pretty much built something that no one knew they wanted until he offered his brand of diverse soundtrack selections, constant film homages, non-linear storytelling, and the nonsensical conversations only found in the movies.
Yeah, see, the thing with that is I don't disagree, but I kind of do because when I was doing research on this, that was always the one that popped up. Pulp Fiction and Shawshank losing to Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
But I love Forrest Gump, dude. I really love Forrest Gump. I can't call that a snub because I just really like Forrest Gump is such a good movie. Like I view that as a classic, so I can't agree with it. But I see where you're coming from. I don't disagree.
I know that there's going to be some more that's like you don't agree with, but I don't know. I'm trying to think of the big picture here.
No, go ahead, yeah.
62nd Best Original Screenplay, Dead Poets Society over Do the Right Thing. I haven't even seen Do the Right Thing, but I can feel the snub in my bones.
Right.
53rd Best Picture, Best Director, Best Supporting Actor. Ordinary People over Raging Bull. Timothy Hutton over Joe Pesci? Nah. After watching Ordinary People, you'll realize how much the real world sucks in a boring way. After watching Raging Bull, you'll realize how much the real world sucks, but at least it has a funny and ironic way of dishing karma. Dude, Ordinary People is so fucking boring, dude.
Oh my gosh. Never seen it.
It's a Robert Redford directed film.
Really?
Yeah. Which
Okay.
I feel bad about, but dude, Martin Scorsese, come on, man.
No, I got you.
49th Best Picture, Rocky over Taxi Driver. Rocky is inspiring and all, sure, but Taxi Driver is probably the most important film to talk about the aftermath of an era. I'm referring to the chaos of the 60s and the Vietnam War's plethora of PTSD victims, done in the most subtle way.
Okay.
45th, Best Supporting Actor Joel Grey for Cabaret over Al Pacino for The Godfather. If the Academy would have known how massive this film's legacy was, they would have given it every win. I'm sure Joel Grey is great, but Al Pacino as Michael Corleone is ironic, or iconic. 36th, Best Director Tom Jones over 8.5. Fellini is one of the best directors to ever live, and he owes a lot of that reputation to this film. Meanwhile, who is Tony Richardson? I don't even know who that is. I had to look him up. I've never seen any film that he's done. 25th, Best Score for Musical, with A Song in My Heart over Singing in the Rain, the only film on this list to stand the test of time. 24th, Best Actor Humphrey Bogart for African Queen over Marlon Brando in Streetcar Named Desire.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Humphrey Bogart plays himself, while Marlon Brando plays a sexier version of himself. I told you, dude, I had some fun with this. 22nd, Best Original Screenplay, A Letter to the Three Wives over Bicycle Thieves. The Academy couldn't handle Italian realism, much less realism. 19th, Best Actor, Frederick March for Best Years of Our Lives over James Stewart for It's a Wonderful Life. I'm not even upset that it lost Best Picture because it's a fantastic movie, but Frederick's role is more emotional from the writing than his actual performance. Meanwhile, Stewart's role possesses both as a sad concept and a devastating climax from the man himself. And my last one is the 12th. Best Art Direction, Gone with the Wind over The Wizard of Oz. Besides the use of Technicolor within the narrative, The Wizard of Oz's bread and butter is the lush color within the art. Fantasy couldn't have been brought to life without a little colorful imagination.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'll put that as an honorable mention, and I'll put the Marlon Brando one as an honorable mention as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So like I said, my phone died.
You can do your you can start.
Okay.
Because you haven't said anything.
Yes, you killed it. So I kind of looked at like people's careers like in general. Like it was hard to kind of just go through. One of them was Humphrey Bogart. Really, never really got anything like that substantial. I don't think he won for Casablanca. Like he didn't win for Casablanca despite it winning Best Picture and Director.
That's a
He lost it to Paul Lucas for Watch on the Rhine.
Yep.
And I was like, okay, I mean, what?
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, I don't even know what that is
I almost
either.
considered that.
Yes, but instead I chose, so I guess that's an honorable mention too, I chose my number 5 to be just the whole career of Stanley Kubrick. Like, he was not nominated for, like, most of his films weren't even nominated. Like, films like Paths of Glory, Lolita, and Full Metal Jacket weren't even nominated. And Dr. Strangelove lost to My Fair Lady.
Barry Lyndon lost.
Yeah, Barry Lyndon lost. Also, 2001 A Space Odyssey didn't even get a Best Picture nomination. And then The Shining, like, what did that get? A Razzie. I'm not even joking. Did you know that?
Which one?
Razzie.
Which movie?
The Shining.
Oh, really?
The Shining got a Razzie for Worst Director.
Yeah, people tend to sleep on his stuff.
Yeah, well, people didn't
understand.
Yeah, at that time they didn't understand it. You know,
Yes.
obviously now it's like a thing. So yeah, that's my number 5. Stanley Kubrick never really getting an Oscar. Never getting an Oscar is ridiculous. I think they paid tribute to him once. I think he got like an achievement Oscar, but I could be wrong. But that's crazy to me that he's never gotten an Oscar.
Yeah, that is crazy to me too.
Mm-hmm.
My number 5 is going to require no explanation. I'm not even going to explain it. All I'm going to say is that when I saw this, I laughed out loud.
Okay.
55th, Best Visual Effects. E.T. won over Blade Runner.
Okay, that's crazy.
What?
That's insane. That's insane.
I would have been in tears, dude, if I saw that.
Yeah, that's... No.
Oh, we all have eyes, people.
That's... I mean, E.T. had some good special effects, but like Blade Runner was special effects.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like that's what that was.
Blew my mind.
Yeah, that's crazy. Is that all you got to say about that?
Yeah, that's it.
All right, my next one is actually one you mentioned, The King's Speech beating The Social Network.
Yep.
I honestly think that's crazy, and not just The Social Network, but that was a great year, dude. The Social Network, The Fighter came out that year, Toy Story 3, Inception, Black Swan.
Was it that year or no?
I think so. Wasn't it?
Up. It was nominated for Best Picture, so it wasn't. I don't.
What? Which one are you talking about?
Up.
Oh no, I didn't say Up. No.
I thought that was
no. Up was the year before. Up was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Up was the year before, but I mean, The Fighter, Inception, Toy Story 3, The Social Network, Black Swan, like all those films were some like really heavy hitters, and then it went to The King's Speech, and that was just so strange to me. I'm like, why did it go to the... I mean, I never seen The King's Speech. I heard you actually
it's good.
Really like
it's
that
definitely...
film.
It feels like Oscar bait, though.
Yeah, so...
For performances, not Best Picture.
Yeah, to beat some of those films was just crazy to me, so...
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Number 4. 52nd Best Picture, Best Director, Best Adapted Screenplay, and... Kramer versus Kramer over Apocalypse Now.
Yeah.
I like Kramer versus Kramer just as much as the next guy, but Apocalypse Now is the best war film ever made and one of the best films ever made, period. It's a psychological analysis of soldiers. It judges them and their sadistic love of terror and lust. It's brooding, highly intelligent, and necessary in every moment. Comparing the two is like comparing apples to oranges. Mm. One is clearly better than the other.
Yeah, dude, apples.
Yeah, exactly!
Yeah, yes! Dude, yeah, there it is.
Oh my god, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I love when people say that, because, like, maybe that's just the critic inside me, but I could compare anything to anything.
Right. Apples are way better than oranges.
Yeah. Dude. The only thing I'll give... I probably like orange juice more than I like apple juice, but, like, hard cider infinitely tops shock top, anything orange flavor. And then, like, eating an apple plain is just infinitely better than orange.
So much better, dude.
Oh, my God.
I have no idea. But, actually, you do have an idea, because...
Yeah, I do have an idea, because I've tried both.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, you're up.
This one I maybe should have put at number 1. This one was almost my number 1 because this one still bothers me today.
Yeah.
Yeah, my number 3. You know what it is. 2015 winner for Best Director and Best Picture, Birdman over Boyhood. Are you
I knew you were gonna
kidding
throw that
me?
in there.
That's insane. All right, look, Birdman. Actually, Stardust just had a poll that said, "What is the better achievement in directing, was Boyhood or Birdman?" And it was like neck and neck, but Birdman was freaking winning by like, it was like 50 to 45%. And I was like, dude, that's insane. Like, okay, here's the thing, the one take film has been done before. What is that Russian museum film called? Do you remember?
Russian Ark.
Russian Ark freaking did it. Silent House did it. There are a lot of films,
but Russian Ark did it like in one take, in an
actual one take. Yeah, Russian Ark did it. Silent House has done it. There have been a lot of films that have done the... Rope has done it. Alfred Hitchcock did that shit way before anyone else. Okay? Like, that shit is cool. Don't get me wrong. But is it cooler than actually making a coming-of-age film that took 12 actual years to make? That you actually took a section of every year for 12 years to make a narrative film? That is insane.
And every single year, he would talk to the actors in it and say, what's in? What is like the trends now? What can I throw in this to make it feel more genuine?
Yes. It is the best coming-of-age movie of all time because it adheres to what the coming-of-age movie should be, because you're literally watching a kid come of age. There's no Hollywood melodrama. There's maybe one tiny scene with the waiter that was a bit too Hollywood, but that's my only gripe of that film. That film is amazing. It's unpretentious, unlike Birdman, and Richard Linklater is not only one of the most underrated directors of all times, but he always innovates, dude. Even with, we were just talking about, Waking Time, you said? Waking Life and A Scanner Darkly.
A Scanner Darkly, yeah.
That was awesome, dude. To have like a rotoscope thing like that. He's always pushing boundaries. He's made one of the best romantic trilogies of all time. He can do like almost anything.
You know about what Slacker is, right? Do you know the gimmick between that?
I don't know the gimmick of that. What was that?
Literally, it takes place. It's a conversation where Richard Linklater himself gets into a taxi car, starts having a philosophical conversation with a guy. Then it follows that guy, and he has a conversation with another person. Then it follows that person, and that's how the whole film goes.
Dang,
it just keeps following one person to the next.
That's what I'm talking about, dude. Like, he deserved that Oscar. That's never been done before. Can you imagine the task that needed to be done? Best Picture, if you want to be pretentious and give it to Birdman, I can kind of see it, whatever. Okay. It's an Oscar bait film. But directing, to say that the directing is better in Birdman than Boyhood is insane. Do you understand what could have gone wrong in that 12 years? Ethan Hawke could have died. Patricia Arquette could have died in
Richard
12
Linklater
years.
could have died, and actually Ethan Hawke was the backup director.
That's insane to me, dude. No one has ever done that before. That is innovation at its finest. What did Birdman do? Birdman made a single-shot film. Great. That's been done before. You know what has not been done before? Making a film in the span of 12 years. Okay? That's crazy. The fact that it won Best Directing, ridiculous to me. Richard Linklater deserved that. 100%. And you're giving me a face like you disagree.
Okay, no, I think I was really pissed when I saw it. I can live with it now. I mean, I like both movies. I like Boyhood a lot more. Mm-hmm. But I can live with it. It's
I couldn't.
I think there's bigger snubs out there, and I'm about to get to them.
No, I completely disagree. This was almost my number one. That's crazy to me.
Okay. So that's your number 3?
That's my number 3.
So my number 3. This is probably your number 1.
Might be.
50th. Best Picture, Best Director, Best Original Screenplay, Annie Hall over Star Wars. So,
yeah, I'm going to put that as an honorable mention.
Oh, you didn't even have it?
I didn't have it. I forgot about that, but yeah, you're right. That's fucking stupid.
How is that not bigger than...
Yeah, right? I don't know.
Star Wars-inspired filmmakers invented geekdom and popularized sci-fi, or at least made it accessible. It can be found in every corner of the world, from massive toy sales, conventions, box office sales, t-shirts at any local store, and everyday conversation. Who the hell do you catch talking about Annie Hall unless it's how did it win over Star Wars?
Yeah, pretty much.
Dude, it's... no, I mean, this could be number 1, and, I would understand completely.
You ever see James Cameron talk about that? He was doing a Q&A, I think, with Variety or something, and someone asked him, they're like, why doesn't the Academy acknowledge sci-fi films? And he's like, that prospect really hit me when in 1978 or whatever, when
77
in 77
78
or like 78, when Annie Hall, a tiny cute relationship movie, beat Star Wars. He's like, are you kidding me? Star Wars? Are you fucking joking? And he actually said that. He's like, are you fucking out of your mind? Yeah, he's like... That's
I'm
true.
on the same page as him.
No, I saw Annie Hall, and let me tell you something. It was nothing special. Yeah. Oh, he broke the fourth wall. That was innovative at the time.
Woo!
Cool. But wow, you know what else was innovative at the time? The entire film of Star Wars.
Yeah.
That film revolutionized...
miniatures, dude.
Yeah. That film revolutionized every single aspect of filmmaking.
Yes.
Every single one.
Yes.
Like sound design, scoring.
Score.
Yeah.
Holy
production
shit.
design.
No,
special
people didn't
effects.
even like the movie until the score was introduced.
Yes.
They didn't like it at all.
That's what I heard. That's crazy.
That's it.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so you ready for my number...
Dos? Yes.
Again, the entire just career of Alfred Hitchcock. Okay, so again, Alfred Hitchcock has always been an innovator when it came to film. He's the master of suspense, and he was nominated for 5 Best Director Oscars, but he never won. Okay, and he wasn't even nominated for some of his greatest films like Vertigo or North by Northwest. I mean, that's crazy. Vertigo, as a matter of fact, which is being hailed, by the way, a lot of people, how they say Citizen Kane is like the best film ever made. Vertigo, actually, I think for the British Institute or something like that, the British Film Society, they replaced Citizen Kane recently with Vertigo, which, by the way, was only nominated for sound design and art direction.
Yeah.
That's it.
That would have been a really good option, but I was trying to lean towards movies that were nominated for a certain category that lost to another film, just because it would have been a lot easier.
Yes.
And there could have been a million fucking things that I could have put on here.
Yeah, but that's not how I viewed it. That's how we view our lists. They're different.
Yes.
So, yes, Alfred Hitchcock, that's crazy.
Yes, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
My number 2, which, mind you, our number 1s are the same. 41st, literally everything it was nominated for, but especially Best Director, Oliver over 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Yeah.
Fuck you!
Mm-hmm.
Kubrick invents technology to make movies look like a giant magic trick. Anyone who thought they had it figured out had to go back to the drawing board. If you weren't perplexed by 2001, even if you saw it yesterday for the first time, you just weren't paying attention.
100%. That's ridiculous.
It's fucked up. Okay, so your number one is the same as mine.
Yes.
Do you know what number? Do you know what Oscar number it was?
No, just tell me. What was the Oscar number?
It was number 14th.
The 14th 1942 Academy Awards ceremony.
Everything it was nominated for, but especially Best Picture.
Best Picture. How Green Was My Valley beat Citizen Kane. Are you serious? You want to hear something funny, though? I was at 2nd and Charles yesterday, and I ran into my cousin, right? And I was just showing him around because he'd never been there before. Yeah. And at the end cap, the movie at the end of the end cap that was like displaying like all the other movies was How Green Was My Valley.
No way.
Dead serious. I've never even heard about this film until people told me that it beat Citizen Kane. That's the only way I've heard about this film. Not to, degrade How Green Was My Valley. It could be a great film, but it ain't. Come on, dude. Citizen Kane? Are you kidding me? Citizen Kane is one of the greatest films of all time. Not only is it a revolutionary film, like in terms of storytelling, but also from a technical standpoint, incorporating low angle, deep focus, and crane shots, all considered unorthodox at the time. You know?
Yes. I have all that, and then I also have this film was 25 years ahead of its time because that's how long it took for people to recognize it, for doing what filmmakers finally started tackling. Mm-hmm. This is the moment when the Academy was first struck with a film that had an undefined potential. Mm-hmm. I can't say I blame them because picking a film in our generation is to be recognized is the hardest thing like I've ever done.
No, for
sure.
I
have no clue, but like if they only would have known.
Yeah. That's the thing.
But also, I feel like they were neglecting a lot of films back then, especially because they had like so many categories dedicated to like musicals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That was the most popular type of film, and so they didn't recognize it as an art form.
That's
if
true.
If they would have, they totally should have given it to this film.
Yeah. And it only won for one Oscar, which was Best Original Screenplay, so that's one thing. But to lose Best Picture and Best Director, I mean...
Best Actor, too.
Yeah, and Best Actor. Freaking Orson Welles killed the directing game, dude. That was amazing.
Yes. It was the first time, I think, ever where he added his own personality into the style of the film. I don't think any film before that really did that. Mm-hmm. It had like it kind of said something about the filmmaker as much as it did about just making a movie, an entertaining movie.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
It's fucked up to me.
It is.
But, I can't really fault them all that much, in all honesty. They would have never known. And plus, there was Hollywood was pumping out like 300 films a year. Mm-hmm. So many films. And so many of them were lost because of, the format that film was made on and stuff like that. Most of them don't... You could see all the movies that were, came out in this specific year. If you were to type in 1941 films that were released, there would be, literally 300 films, and about 25 of them would have a wiki link because that movie is actually known. The rest of them are just were just written down on a piece of paper, on a manifest, and that's the only way that you would know about them because the film doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they would just scrap films too because they didn't think that they meant anything, which is so sad.
Yeah, dude.
So I can't fault them too much, but at the same time, this is Citizen Kane we're talking about.
Yeah, it's Citizen Kane.